Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh, and first of all, I have to apologize for being a little bit off-brand here. Normally we do these videos in one of our cars, but it is getting to the point in the summer where it is too damn hot outside to be filming a video in a car without sweating and suffocating to death. So instead, you join me here in my home office under the wonderful central air conditioning. Now today I wanted to pop on here and do a video to answer one of the most commonly asked questions I've gotten since I did my TX 550h Plus video, in which I told you that we reserved and are in line for one of those vehicles. And that is, how does one reserve a Toyota or Lexus vehicle in this day and age? Now, I know a lot of folks out there have not bought a car in recent years, which means you may not have bought a car in this post-COVID supply chain wrecked era that we're in right now, in which car dealers don't have anything, there's no supply, people are waiting in line for years, all that kind of thing. So today what I wanted to do in this video is take you through the process. If you want a new Toyota or Lexus vehicle, how do you go about getting your name on a list with a dealer, putting some money down in good faith, and then getting on the list to get whatever vehicle it is you want? So there are three main steps to this process, and I'm going to walk you through each of them, and hopefully this will help any of you out there who are looking to get on the list for one of the new Toyota vehicles that has come out recently, or even if you're looking for something that is really popular and a lot of people want them, and so there's never any supply of them. Same process applies, no matter, again, whether it's a future vehicle or a current one that you just can't get. So let's go ahead and dive into all of that. Now, the very first thing that you're going to want to do when you get ready to go through this process is you're going to need to figure out what exactly it is you want. And I know that that sounds like a really simple thing, like I want a RAV4, I want a Prius, I want a TX, I want an NX, or I want an RX, or whatever it might be. But when I say figure out what you want, what I mean is we need to get into some details and some specifics about the car that you want. So let's say we'll take my TX as an example. I wanted the TX, yes, but I specifically wanted the TX 550h plug-in hybrid. I also, in that car, wanted to have a few very specific things. So like in my NX, I really want the head-up display, I want the digital rearview mirror, and I want some of the more advanced technology features. In the TX, I also only really want the light interior because I think the dark interior looks kind of cheap and like a little bit too Grand Highlander. And so those are the kind of specifics that you want to figure out for yourself with whatever vehicle it is that you are looking for. And of course, as you think about the features that you're looking for, you also need to be thinking about the price point. How much are those features going to cost when you build or spec a car out with them? So how much are you going to have to spend when that car comes into the dealer and is available? Now, you can go into a dealer and just say, I don't care what kind of RAV it is, I don't care what kind of, TX it is. And if you really don't care about what kind of trim level it is or what kind of engine it has or, any interior or exterior features, then rock on. Go to your Toyota dealer, put your money down and say, I'll take any, Sienna, RAV, Tacoma, TX, GX that you get in. The problem with that, though, is that opens you up to a really wide kind of spread of vehicles. So you could end up spending, like pennies for the base model and you're going to get steel wheels and nothing in it and, whatever like that. Or you could also get offered the top trim that no one else wants because it's ridiculously or prohibitively expensive. So my recommendation to all of you out there is go in with some sense and some specificity of what it is that you're looking for. Maybe it's, I don't care if it's a hybrid or plug-in hybrid, I'll take either. Maybe it's, I'll take any gas engine that's not a hybrid. At least get a little bit specific about what it is you're looking for. And the other thing to do is when you are getting specific and figuring out what it is you want in that car, start a Word document and start writing these, like literally start typing these things out, because that's going to help you when we get to our third step in this video. But it's also going to help you map out on paper exactly what that car is that you're looking for. And if it's a specific package, like some Toyotas have 12 different options packages. It's getting a little bit ridiculous how you can spec out a Toyota now. But if that thing is called like advanced package with technology and third row seat option, or whatever stupid name it has, write that long stupid name down on paper, because what we're trying to do at this point, as we're getting specific about what it is we want, we're also trying to mitigate risk later on as the dealer takes that list from you. We want to make sure that it's very clear and laid out in, as simple terms as possible, exactly what it is that we want to purchase. Okay, so once we have figured out exactly what it is we want and we've gotten specific about all the things and we've made our list, now we want to go and start looking for a good dealer. And I cannot stress to you all how important it is that you find a good dealer, because a bad dealer can completely ruin the experience of, ordering and buying and loving and taking delivery of this new vehicle. There are so many things that can go wrong in the dealership's hands and control in the car buying process. So you really need to find a good dealer that you trust. Now, most big cities and big metropolitan areas will have, 4 to 5 different Toyotas and maybe 2 or 3 different Lexus dealers. We happen to be very fortunate where I live that we've got a really great Toyota dealer and 2 great Lexus dealers. But that's not always the case for everyone. So go out to all of them, first of all, and talk to salespeople, talk to managers, see what the showroom experience is like, see what the customer service is like. Go to the service and service and parts department, see what the service is like there. If anything throws up a red flag for you, if anything seems not right, if they seem like they're trying to push you into a sale or rush you out of the showroom, walk out. Go find another one, and I guarantee you will not regret it. If you are in a smaller area, though, and maybe you've only got 2 Toyota dealers and 1 Lexus dealer, let's say, go to a neighboring city, go to a neighboring state. It is so important, again, that you find a good dealer, because it is make or break for that new car. And if you end up having to do that and you end up having to go out of state or out of city to pick up your car when it comes in, make a road trip out of it. I mean, how much fun would that be? To drive to another state or another city, spend the night in a nice hotel and take delivery of your car and then drive it home. That sounds to me anyway like a lot of fun. So again, find a good dealer, find a dealer that you trust, and find a dealer that's going to give you the best possible service. Once you've done that, now let's talk about going in and putting down your deposit and getting in line. So like we mentioned in step 1, right? We've got our Word document or our printed page with all the specs and what's acceptable to us and exterior colors and interior colors and all the different features that we're looking for. We know that that's what we want. We also know that the price on, whatever those options are is going to be acceptable for us. And then when you found that dealer that is going to be your dealer of choice, then you can go in. And maybe at this point you've already talked to a salesperson and found one that you really, really love. You can go to that salesperson then and say, here, salesperson, here's my list of exactly what I want in my new TX, GX, Tacoma, Sienna, Prius Prime, whatever it is. Once they've got that, they can take that page and start your reservation. The next thing that they'll do is they'll ask you for a deposit. That's the good faith money to say, yes, I am committing, myself to this order. I am, when the car comes in, I'll be here. I've got the money, all that kind of thing. Now, the thing to know about deposits is it varies from dealer to dealer. So this is not a process or procedure or protocol that Toyota establishes. This is a dealer by dealer kind of thing. So some dealers, the best dealers out there, will tell you that, put $1,000 down, but if you decide for any reason to back out, we'll give you your money back, no questions asked. That's how our Toyota dealer here where I live is. I love them. Some dealers, on the other hand, are real assholes, and they'll be like, take your $1,000 and, oh, hey, guess what? You're not ever getting that back. Right, so you want to make sure that the deposit that you're putting down, that good faith money, can, for whatever reason, okay, be refunded. Get it in writing too. Whatever they say the deposit policy is, get it in writing. It doesn't necessarily need to have a signature attached to it, but something that you can kind of wave in their face if later on they try to change their story and say, oh, just kidding. Yeah, we're not going to be able to refund your deposit. Sorry. Like, no, I got it in writing here that this deposit that I put down on my TX or whatever it is refundable. And the final thing about deposits is the dollar amount tends to vary both between dealers and between models. So I know, for example, that our Toyota dealer charges a bigger, or asks for a bigger deposit on things like a Prius Prime, a RAV4 Prime, and a GR Corolla than they would on some run-of-the-mill Highlander hybrid or Sienna hybrid or whatever it might be. I've also heard some Lexus dealers charging upwards of $3,000. That to me is a little bit excessive. Our Lexus dealer charges about $1,000, I believe is what I put down on the TX. And the same thing before we bought our NX. So again, it's just the luck of the draw. It's up to the dealer. And again, just get all this in writing before you leave and before you put your card, they run your card to take that money from you. Once all this is done and everything is hunky-dory and you are just sitting there kind of biding your time in anticipation of your brand new vehicle, the other thing to know, and this is something I've heard from a lot of you out there a little bit pissy about, is just because you put your name in before somebody else did doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get your car first. And the reason for this is that it depends on what they put their name down for and what you put your name down for. So again, I've heard from some people out there with the NX specifically that said, I don't want anything in it. I want a base model. I want, no moonroof. I want the tiny screen. I want, just stripped out basic NX 350H, which I think is like 45,000 MSRP. You're going to be waiting a while for that car because Lexus and Toyota, they don't really make base model cars. They do for things like the Corolla and the Camry, so you can pretty much find readily available like a basic Corolla LE with steel wheels and cloth interior and that kind of thing, because those sell. But very few people are out there in the market looking for a base, stripped out NX, right? Most people want at least something like what I have, which is a premium, but with, the 14-inch screen and head-up display and digital mirror and all that kind of thing. So keep that in mind too as you go. Keep that in mind actually in step one, as you think about what it is that you are wanting in that car. If you want something that's kind of way out of the ordinary, you're going to be waiting a while. And the same thing is true for us with the TX. The TX is supposed to go into production at the end of calendar year 2023. So at the end of this year, we'll probably start to see the first ones roll off the assembly line and maybe even get to dealers before the end of the year. But for us, we're waiting on that 550H Plus. I do not want any other TX because I don't want a 4-cylinder TX. I want my 3.5-liter 2GR 6-cylinder TX. That's probably going to be, mid-2024 at the earliest that it'll go into production. And so, I'm just guessing off the top of my head right now that we probably won't be taking delivery of ours until later in 2024, if not later than that. So again, it's not necessarily that the dealer is, pulling a fast one on you because person X over there, they put down their deposit 2 weeks ago and all of a sudden they've got a car. It really just depends on when are they getting something that matches your criteria in. So I hope all that was helpful. That's sort of how this whole thing works in this post-COVID, post-supply chain messed up era. It's a real shame that we have to go through this, and I am really hoping that in the coming years we'll see inventory increase to the point where it'll be like, the pre-COVID days where you could just rock up to the dealer at 10 in the morning and drive your new car home at, 2 that afternoon or whatever it might be. But doesn't look like that's happening for now. There's so much demand for Toyota and Lexus, especially because they make such great cars. And there are so many amazing new cars coming out that they've recently released that so many people want them. And so I really think that, again, this process that I just walked you through is what we'll be going through for the next few years. I'm hoping it's not, but in case it is, I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching another video. I really appreciate it. Have a great one and take care.